Good evening, namaskar, and welcome to this final table of the 60 lakh guaranteed Monster Stack event. I've still not changed my name, and this is Peter Abraham welcoming you all to FTS number 3 on yesterday's broadcast, and we saw him topping it then. He continues to be on top of the leaderboard, playing as reconnecting is Shashank Desai with 3,470 leaderboard points. Next up, Vinay Rajpal playing as Beep Beep, I'm a Jeep. That's 3,248 points for Vinay. Abhijit Kumar, we saw on yesterday's stream playing as the Supreme One. Obviously, that runner-up finish garnering him some more points and putting him into third spot now with 3,240 points. Ram Kakkad won an event yesterday playing as Johnny Runner, and he's got just over 3,000 points, putting him on fourth place on this FTS leaderboard. Ashish Kumar playing as Notorious Convict 1 with 2,848 points is on fifth. The ever-present spectre of Bhanu Prakash is there in sixth place with 2,661 points. Anmol Agarwal as Bull Slayer playing, on the counts with 2,644 points. Mithun Mahesh as Zima Blue with 2,503 points. Arjun Veer Singh Chadda playing as Bazinga with 2,501 points. And last but not the least, a name that you will see in the broadcast coming up as well, Suraj Todi playing as Got No Change 31. He's got 2,296 points, and he is on this upcoming final table. So I should be seeing, or we should all be in fact seeing him go up the counts a little bit after, well, depending on when he finishes this evening. So let's take a look at the Monster Stack, which of course has an 8 max format as usual. 60 lakhs is the guarantee for a buy-in of 11,000 rupees with 563 players registering for this event. And the winner is going to take 11.6 lakhs up top. Let's take a look at the payouts. In fact, with that 11 lakhs going to the winner, you've also got 7.32 lakhs going to second place. Third place gets 5.25 lakhs. Fourth place, 4.17 lakhs. Fifth gets 3.27 lakhs. Sixth place, 2.56 lakhs. Seventh, 1.92 lakhs. And last but not the least, eighth place getting 1.36 lakhs. It's time to head to the final table soon. But let me first tell you who all are going to be joining us. It's the same folks from yesterday, of course. First up, we've got two-time WSOP bracelet winner Kevin McPhee joining us back. And after playing for the Goan Nuts in the second season of the Poker Sports League, he understands the Indian poker psyche quite well. And, well, I think that's a bit of a stretch considering what we've seen yet, Kevin. Welcome to the broadcast.
Me, Peter. Yeah, we've seen some pretty interesting play so far in the streams that I've watched. And I think today will be a little change of pace, though, because we have a pretty experienced final table, a lot of professionals on this final table. And I'm looking for some elite play today. But yeah, we've certainly seen players mixing it up. What I'm interested in this final table, if we're going to see the same approach where everybody's very tight in the beginning. I suspect that'll be the case, but nonetheless, with so many accomplished players on it, it'll be a fun final table to watch.
Absolutely. And along with Kevin, we are also going to be joined by Sam Razavi, who's of course been commentating with us on various Indian poker tournaments. And he's also played for the Kings Hyderabad team in the first season of the Poker Sports League. So no point in guessing that this 4-time Player of the Year at the Asian Poker Tour can read the pulse of Indian poker as well. Welcome to the broadcast, Sam.
Thank you. I played and failed miserably with Kings Hyderabad. Well, not the highlight of my career. The experience definitely was, though. But yeah, it's a pleasure to be back again to see what sort of doom switchery will occur today. And yeah, looking forward to some more action.
Fantastic. And enabling the doom switch is also our third commentator who will be joining this broadcast in a short while from now. Of course, that's Richard Haridasoam, who will be joining us a little bit later in this broadcast. Of course, Richie has been around the scene for a while. It'll be great to see him once again on this broadcast too. Let's take now a look at the players who make up this final table of the Monster Stack. And here we go with the chip leader. That's Vaibhav Sharma playing as Beautiful Mistakes. I think that's a very beautiful username also, considering we've all made a mistake or two at the poker tables. So 32-year-old Vaibhav Sharma is leading the count. 62 big blinds is what he's got. That's a little under 4 million in chips. He has a number of accomplishments to his name, including a third-place finish in the IPC High Roller for 20.89 lakhs in September 2019. He also finished third in the DPT High Roller for 7.6 lakhs in Feb 2018 and fifth in the IOPC Super High Roller on Spartan Poker for 11.29 lakhs in January 2021. He's also got the GPS Grand Sunday Super Stack, the Triple S Super High Roller, runner-up finish, and well, the list goes on. He's got online cashes in excess of 5.4 crores. So plenty of experience there for our chip leader. Next up is, again, no slouch at these tables. That's Ankit Wagmare, who's got a very cool nickname called Taking Souls. And Ankit Wagmare is, of course, 29 years old. He's won the IOPC Millionaire Legends on Spartan Poker for 36 lakhs. And he also won the IOPC Mastermind event in that same series. And he also had that really mouthful of username, not Wadumela or something to that effect, I think it was in the IOPC series. So that caused some concern for us commentators. But coming back to this final table, Ankit got about 3.6 million in chips. That's 56 big blinds. Next up is Brijesh Pratap Rao. And he is playing under the user handle Sanu15. Not a lot known about this particular player, but we do know that he's got 46 big blinds, and that's a stack of just under 3 million. Next up, Prakash Gupta playing as Robin Van Chersi. There's been quite a few of those kind of nicknames across this particular FTS. And this 28-year-old, of course, finished second in the IOPC leaderboard on Spartan Poker in Jan 21. And with 33 big blinds, that's a stack of just under 2.1 million. Prakash Gupta is right there in the middle of the counts. Suraj Todi, like I mentioned, he's last on the FTS leaderboard, but certainly not last on the chip counts here. Playing as Got No Change 31, another 28-year-old player, finished fourth in the IOPC United tournament on Spartan Poker back in July for a little under 6.7 lakhs. And 28 big blinds is what Suraj Todi has. That's 1.7 million in chips. Next up is Shagun Jain playing as I Can Suck Out. We all can suck out because we've all been there at some point, I'm sure. He won the Game Changer tournament at Pokerbazi for 40 lakhs in August 2019. He won the Millionaire tournament on Spartan Poker for 17.5 odd lakhs in July 2021. And also the Full House tournament for 25 lakhs on Adda 52. So the big three, obviously, titles in all of those platforms. So very experienced player coming into this final table, though, with a stack of just about 20 big blinds, 1.2 million in chips for Shagun Jain. Cult of Personality is the second to last player on the counts. That's Anurag Srivastav, who is a 29-year-old player. He won the IOPC main event on Spartan Poker for just under 60 lakhs in Feb 2020. And his online cashes too, totaling to just about 6 crores. So plenty of experience for Anurag Srivastav as well. 13 big blinds is what he's got. That's 843,000 in chips. And last but not the least, another well-known face on the domestic circuit, playing as Go Blue, is Mehrzad Munsaf, who finished second in the DPT Colossus Super High Roller for just about 20 lakh rupees. And he's also claimed the DPT Colossus title in, the DPT Colossus 50K warm-up title for 10.8 lakhs in May 2019, and second in Adda 52's AOPS Whale tournament for 5.27 lakhs. He is the short stack at the table, and as we can see, just about 6 big blinds for Mehrzad, and here's a look at the entire list of players who are going to be battling each other for the title of Monster Stack. And it should be certainly a very exciting final table, considering the wealth of experience that all of these players have. And we should hope to see a pretty intense contest coming up. And speaking of contests, here we go with the first contest question as far as this particular final table is concerned. We continue to test your riddle quotient with our contest question. So here's it. Here's the contest question. I am an odd number. I'm a little odd anyway. I am an odd number. Take away a letter from me and I become even. What number am I? Once again, I am an odd number. Take away a letter from me and I become even. What number am I? Well, if you think you've got the right answer, then post it as a comment in the stream along with your Spartan Poker ID. And if you are one of the lucky winners, you could get one of 5 tickets into Flight 1I of the Feast tournament, which is set to be played on the 18th of September at 4 p.m. So make sure you get your answers in there. And who knows, we could be seeing you at one of these final tables too. That being said, it's time for us to take a look at all of the action. I think we're getting ready to go live with the cards. Here we go with the final table of this monster stack.
And that is quite the list of accomplishments that these players, this final table, have. I mean, that is a lot of caches and some big flagship events on Indian sites. And, you know, I think this final table is going to be a little bit different, a little bit more experience on here.
Yep. And not just online, a lot of these guys have done very well on the live circuit as well. So, yeah, it's a good mix of talent here and quite deep in terms of their accomplishments.
Yeah, I was going to say, especially also with only 2 stacks being below the 20 big blind mark, sort of tradition dictates that it should be a final table with a bit more play, but we've come to learn that, you know, anything can happen in these streams. So yeah, I don't want to say anything.
Too late. You already said it. Well, such is the nature of these final tables. Sometimes they take their own time and sometimes it just gets over in a blaze, in a flash. And we've seen a couple of those and we've seen a couple that have stretched on for a bit more. In the meantime, though, with that ace-4 and a raise, taking souls takes another pot.
Yeah, and taking souls and beautiful mistakes can really push the action here. I mean, Go Blue is at desperation territory with only 6 big blinds. So I think the middling stacks can be a little conservative here, kind of waiting for the 2 short stacks to bust. And this is really the time for the big stacks to apply some pressure, in my opinion.
I think we saw yesterday also there were a lot of these middling stacks that were there. There's a fair number of those in today's final table as well. So I think, although Sam, to begin with, you know, we saw that the action was a little scratchy to begin with. I think a good 25 minutes passed before we saw our first bust out. So players were taking their time in yesterday's tournament. You think we might see something similar in this one again? Yes, I am prompting some action from the sidelines by making you comment on that one.
Yeah, well, I think it's always important, especially viewers watching, to note, as Kevin was saying, you know, if a player sat there so short, it's almost like a on the bubble situation. You really have to, when you're amongst the big stacks, you have to take advantage of that situation. And yeah, I think it will be a bit cagey, maybe not so much as yesterday, because after Go Blue, the next shortest stack is 13 big blinds, which isn't exactly, you know, danger territory. So it's not like the ICM consideration is as heavy as I think it was yesterday. I mean, it gets muddled after a while, but I think there were like several short stacks yesterday, but obviously correct me if I'm wrong. And so once, I thought that was an open for 5 million. I was like, or 500K or whatever. I was like, okay. But yeah, so if, like, hopefully Go Blue finds a nice spot to double, but you know, if he does bust, then I'm sure the action will start picking up. Although having said that, it's not like it's.
Yeah, this hand kind of exemplifies it. I mean, beautiful mistake can open 9-7 suited and get a fold out of Jack 10 suited. And I mean, honestly, ace 5 suited, I think that's pretty close because of how short Go Blue is. So does make the correct read, though, knowing how wide the chip leader is going to be opening there, and gets a fold off of like 11 bigs. Pretty nice to have some fold equity on a reshove with 11 big blinds. I'm sure he's pretty happy with that result.
Yeah, for sure. And that probably goes to demonstrate the sort of level of talent at this the final table, because a lot of players would just freeze up there and not even think twice about folding the ace 5 suited. I mean, I think I still would lean towards folding, but it goes to sort of show that players quite aware of the dynamic and what's happening there. So he takes his chances with the 3-bet free.
Yeah, and Go Blue last hand folding to Jack 10 with only 3 bigs behind too.
Yeah, I was about to ask what you thought of, because the previous hand he folded, which I probably agree with. But he had ace 6 suited under the gun, folded that. Then the Jack 10, which, I mean, if I'm short, I'd rather be in with Jack 10 than the ace 6, where I'm probably going to be up against not probably, but potentially much more likely to be live than the Jack 10. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. When do you?
Yeah, pretty cautious approach, I'd say. Overly cautious approach to the final table. I mean, really just hanging in there.
I think Sol's getting that pot with his flush on the turn card there.
Go Blue gets rewarded for the tight play, of course. Right after we make a comment about it, picks up the ace king on the buttons, be more than happy to put all the chips in here.
Although I think he's sat in exactly the same seat as the player yesterday that managed to get the ace king in against 7 high.
Oh, yeah.
So,
That's true.
but yeah, this this clearly can't fold the.
Well, we've seen some pretty tight folds in these spots. I mean, I think this 2 more big blinds, there's enough dead money in there. Got to just flick it in.
And
does 8-5 off.
Nice.
Well, if it was 7-4,
Nice
then maybe it would have been a different story. But 5-8,
Yeah.
5-8, not good enough. And there you go, a
Ooh.
couple of hands, interesting ones in this. In fact, 3 of them in the course of this particular round.
Oh, it's ace queen, and I think, yeah,
I certainly can't blame I Can Suck Out for shoving here. Beautiful mistakes, been opening pretty wide. Ace queen's too strong a hand to fold, and he just runs right into it. And we'll see if his screen name lives up to the hype. Does flop 2 outs.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, boy.
So tough spot to suck out when they have 2 aces and you just have the old ace queen off. So unfortunate spot for I Can Suck Out. He does not suck out, and he's eliminated. Sanu, big chips now for Sanu 15.
yeah. Go Blue. We don't know what would have happened, but making 2, particularly one really conservative fold, and manages to climb at least one rung of the ladder in terms of the.
Yeah, our first elimination on this final table, that's Shagun Jain, who was playing as I Can Suck Out. No luck on that one, running into the aces of Sanu 15, and that means a payday of, let's take a look, of 1.26 lakhs. 1.36 lakhs, I beg your pardon, is what I Can Suck Out takes home for that finish of his.
Yeah, and Go Blue is just lingering around here. Still just played the one hand at the ace king and just managed to ladder. I'm sure they're pretty happy with that result. Do you guys know the avatar for Go Blue? It's a Michigan Wolverines University. They're called the Blue, right? The college football team is called the Blue.
It's quite possible that it's quite possible that Mehrzad, well, that's also the initials of his first and surname. So I think he's probably an alumni of that particular college. So I'm guessing that's the reason it's all coming together for Mehrzad in this one. And he'll be hoping to ladder up a little bit more and maybe even go the distance in this one.
And Taking Souls having a nice hand here with the aces. He's been pretty active so far. He's already opened quite a few pots and been reshoved on. So I'm sure he's a little disappointed not getting a little more action on his aces there, but fours didn't connect with the flop, so it's probably just as well that he didn't get action. Some pretty hands here. Beautiful Mistake's going to definitely be getting in here. And Sanu's going to have an interesting spot here with the ace-10, electing to fold, 3-bet, or just flat. All options are available, I think, and does just call.
We're going to try and see if we can get our third commentator, Richie Haridasom, into the mix once we are done with this hand. Gut shot for beautiful mistake. But
yeah, I kind of like that bet from Sanu. I think when the queen comes and your opponent's checked back and you flatted small blind, there's going to be a lot of queen X in your range. You're going to have a lot of like king queen suiteds and queen jack suiteds and stuff. So just kind of recognizing that it's very difficult to check call with ace high there. Unlikely to get checked down given how beautiful Mistake's been playing and just turns his ace high into a bluff, recognizing the range advantage. Wow, and then Go Blue finally draws the line in the sand with pocket fours. Goes so quickly. And eights knocks him out. So Go Blue out in 7th.
Yeah,
getting one spot.
Well, it's better than getting out in 8th. And I think while it stings a little bit, he will be happy that he managed to at least go one better in this final table of the Monster Stack. Mehrzad Munzaf, that is, playing as Go Blue, finishing in 7th for a payday of 1.92 lakhs. We're going to try and see if we get Richie Haridasom onto the stream. Richie, are you with us?
Yes, hi, Peter.
Hey, Richie. Good to have you here, man. Clearly, your efforts at the Doom Switch have worked well. So I'm going to swap it out with you and let the three of you guys take it ahead from here. See you guys in a bit.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Peter. I was going to say before you leave, your shirt is brighter than my future. So that was my bad joke for the day.
It's good.
But wow, great table, power packed with a lot of experience here. 2 quick knockouts. I was expecting this final table to go on a little longer before we see a bust out. But obviously, Go Blue coming into this final table with just 6 blinds. But he did a good job. He got it 7th place. So good finish for him.
Yeah, I think when you come in so short, any extra cash is a bonus. And this is an interesting one. Let's see how Robin Van Chelsea navigates.
Yeah, I like the check here. I think when you have a weak ace, better just check and control the size of the pot. You're going to probably check a queen here a fair amount too, so you're protecting your range. Of course, we see he's up against a queen. So he's going to be in a tough spot here on the turn, facing another bet.
Yeah, I agree. Very nice check there with the ace-4 on such a heavy board. Ace-4 plays really well as a check call.
Yeah, and this is just a super gross spot. This hand's really tough to call 2 barrels with ace-4 in this spot. You basically have to think that your opponent has some pure bluffs in, which is, I think, optimistic given the chip distribution right now.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes back to what I was saying in the other small blind hand about, like, in a flatted pot, when it's like it went check, and then the small blind who had flatted pre led the queen turn. That I kind of like that with the ace-10, that previous hand, because it's the flatter, I think, kind of has more like queen X, because there's a lot of like king queen suiteds and queen jack suiteds that want to flat call.
Mm-hmm.
So when in this particular hand with the ace-4 and the king queen suited, there's a raise and a call, a flat call. Now it's coming ace queen queen. Now you have that magic queen card that I think is all over a flat caller's range. I mean, they just don't want to 3-bet those hands. They want to keep the worst hands in, and for that reason, I think like queen X really favors the flat caller.
And yeah, solid fold. I mean, I think we've seen quite a few of these similar hands where players stick around for another bet on the turn and then end up just giving up on the river anyway. And yeah, disciplined fold. But as you explained, the queen definitely in the range of the pre-flop flatter for sure.
Yeah, but these are spots where you know there are times where you could sort of level yourself into calling, since you do have an ace, and Robin Van Persie choosing to make a disciplined fold. He was right, of course.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I feel like Robin can also play queen X that way. So when the flat caller double barrels, like they know he has something. He's either checking an ace or is slow playing a queen. And that is just not a good time to be bluffing, in my opinion. So I think he kind of recognized that dynamic, realized his ace is no good once they've fired twice at this spot. So I do like the fold quite a bit, actually.
Taking souls, picking up another hand. He's been very active since the start of the table. He's also been picking up some really, really big hands. Ace King of Diamonds this time around.
Yeah, unfortunately, nothing behind. Unless Beautiful Mistake makes a really ugly mistake with the 8 deuce. I don't think this will be going any further. Wow. Ace King, Ace 10, Ace 10.
Ace 10's a tough hand to play, in my opinion. Yeah. It's often a hand that I do a lot of randomization with. Sometimes I fold it, sometimes I 3-bet it. You know, it's generally speaking going to be in the top of my folding range in some tighter spots. So that turns into a really good 3-bet bluffing hand because you want to kind of keep your 3-betting ranges linear. So got no change is kind of recognizing this is probably one of the best hands you can fold in the spot, turning it into a bluff, 3-betting, but then Sandy just has it. The ace king piles in his face, takes it down. But I understand the logic there, 3-betting the ace 10. Just makes sense to me to just 3-bet some of your strongest folds. You have a blocker, and if they do randomly flat call, you have more value weighted, you know, and you'll be more linear in your approach. It'll be tougher to play against 3-bets if you adapt to that kind of strategy, in my opinion.
Sanu 15, now the chip leader.
Yeah, question.
We saw beautiful mistakes, playing quite a few hands at the start. He did get shoved on with 7-9 suited, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, now he's kind of handcuffed a bit, right? He's in the middling pack, and Sanu 15 and Taking Souls can really just start taking control of this final table until Cult Personality, who's now at 8 big blinds, and Robin Van Charcy, who are at 10 big blinds, bust. It's going to be super tough for Beautiful Mistake and Got No Change to be really mixing it up too much.
And Taking Souls going all in with the ace-8. He's taking full advantage of the ICM implications, considering Cult of Personality. Anurag Srivastav, the short stack at the table.
Yeah, and it also just prevents Got No Change from reshoving on him. Wow. Here we go.
We've seen quite a few aces on this table already.
Yeah, this is like the third or fourth time that aces have been dealt here. And again,
and I do like the min raise there rather than just going all in. I think the standard would just be like, oh, I have 10 big blinds, may as well just shove. But you want to extract as much value as you can. And it may look kind of super strong or face up to some people, but I think just trying to get the big blind to defend at the wider range makes a lot of sense there. So I'd like that min raise quite a bit. Yeah, a lot of good hands.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Especially, there are a lot of hands. There are a lot of hands that are easily defendable from the big for one big blind more, and all you need, you're so short. All you need is for the big blind to peel off and just hit a piece of the flop, and you've got a chance of realizing the maximum value with the aces.
Yeah, it's just about keeping your opponent's range as wide as possible. If they flop top pairs, it's going to be so tough for them to not give you all the chips, basically. So
yeah.
And Taking Souls really an aggressive open here. Under the gun with ace-7 offsuit. Not my favorite ace-X hand to include. I really have a dislike for ace-6, ace-7, and ace-8, but then it stops right there, and I love ace-9.
Isn't that the hand? No. Is that the hand? Yeah. The hand that you won the EPT with. Yeah, I guess it's must literally be the fact that there are a couple of short stacks on the table, and he's just opening wider for that reason. I'm in the same camp. I just don't like getting involved with these raggy aces. You're always going to, you're never going to be able to extract the maximum when you do hit an ace. And you're always going to be second guessing yourself down the streets.
Yeah. And I'll include the suited ones, no problem. But the offsuit ones for me just, it's just, you're basically opening too much at that point. But, to be fair, he has a very nice chip position, so he can be a little spicy with his opens if he wants to be. No, he's allowed. Cult Personality is getting very short here, sub 6 big blinds. But that hasn't stopped Got No Change from picking up a couple pots here. He's had a couple nice hands.
Yeah. And Sanu should definitely be opening as well. He's also, he's got more chips than Taking Souls. He should be, doing the same sort of thing, but
they both flop a piece. Should be an interesting post-flop spot. Sanu just selecting to bomb it, and he's for sure getting called at least. I don't really see much of a reason for taking souls to raise this flop at all. Just keep calling. You even have the 10 of hearts as a backup plan as well.
Fairly large bets there by Sanu, choosing to bomb the flop with the 80% pot size bet.
Yeah. I don't know whether this turn... I mean, I can see Sanu going for the check. If I'm in this spot, I'm always going for the check, bluff, catch, call, or fold. I mean, I don't think he's bluffed the turn. I think it's, he's trying to fold out all those hands that might have floated, and also, make it very expensive for any. I mean, what draws are there? I mean, don't expect taking solves to a call with the 6-7 or what. But I think once he bets here, I mean, it's one of those annoying ones because the board is so draw heavy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like to.
Massive pot.
Massive pot. Sanu's also been opening 3x pre-flop, which is why he's already coming into the flop with a bloated pot, and his bet sizes have been on the larger side.
Yeah. Do you think there's? I don't know. Would you consider calling that on the end at all? Just given the.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably not. I mean, there could be some draws for sure, right? There's some heart draws that missed, but there's only so many combos of heart draws, and I feel like when I'm combo counting, I'm very guilty of the mistake of over assessing how many flush draw combos people can actually have in a spot. He has so much, like he could have 9s, he could have all these 10s that he's playing for 10x that he's playing for value. And you kind of figured out with your turn bet in Sanu's position when he bombs the turn that he was kind of targeting, in my opinion, like 6s through 8s there, basically like 6s, 7s, 8s. The 9 turn is going to be super tough for them to call 2 big bets. And then he's kind of figured out like where he's at there, I think he knows that he's up against a 10 or like, a set or something like that once he gets called on the turn. So I think you can, cult of personality, going with the bottom pair, the backdoor flush draw. And,
so cult personality goes out in 6th place. That, of course, is Anurag Srivastav, one of our more experienced players at the table, finishing with a cash prize of 2,56,000.
Yeah, interesting spot there. Deciding to go with just the bottom pair. Just deciding short enough, flopped a piece, line in the sand, and was shown the top pair. So bad news for him. But laddering a couple spots and taking souls is taking over this game.
Yeah, I mean,
another soul taken.
It's gonna pull out the 3-bet here. I mean, I don't. I think it's a great hand. Obviously, King Jack is a great hand to flat from the big. But I was just wondering if he was going to get, take that momentum and just fly with it.
Nice.
Float there with the King Jack. Both these players fairly experienced and probably know a little bit about each other, and we see that call there.
Yeah, it's a pretty dry board, and if your opponent doesn't have an ace, your king high is going to still be good here a bunch of the time. So this is a spot that a lot of amateur players overfold in. You should be calling here with your king highs, just recognizing that your king high still has plenty of value on its own, and you could have equity against lower pairs still. You could just be ahead a bunch of the time here. So,
and there's a bit of fortune there, like calling with the plan of bluffing the river, but not only does that work out? The king comes to actually to actually get a call off on the end there. So earning some more chips. He'll be slowly approaching half the chips in play soon if this continues.
Sam, what do you think about this open from Got No Change?
That was at the King 10 suited, was it?
It was suited, yes.
I mean, I'm probably leaning towards playing much tighter when we've got Robin van Charcy in that position. I've got Take No Souls, who's just, running over the table, not necessarily, I don't know. I would. I probably wouldn't want to put myself in the position of trying to. I'd just be playing much tighter from an ICM point of view. I'm probably waiting for Robin van Charcy to bust, and then opening up my game again a bit.
So with that pot, everyone has close to 14, 15 big blinds. And taking souls again with the Ace King, a very good 3-betting candidate.
Yeah, and Sanu 15 is opening a bit larger size here, 2.5x 3-bet. King Queen suited, normally a hand I'd like to just open as small as possible with, so I can call a 3-bet. And we're gonna have Taking Souls just go ripping it all in. So he really has a nice chip advantage now, just shutting out the number 2 in chips there.
Wow.
Taking Souls is Aniket Wagmare, of course, the winner of the IOPC Millionaire Legends. He used to go by another username back in the day, Vadu Mela. I don't know if I'm getting that right, but he's changed his username. But of course, he's still one of the best players at this table. Now with 80 big blinds.
Yeah, and this could spell some danger here.
Yeah, now he's picking up a gutter as well.
Yeah.
He's going to be stubborn with his top pair in a gutter. Maybe just hoping Beautiful Mistake has a flush draw. I think this is just going to go check now. What a massive pot here, 22.4 mil.
Sanu 15 losing 2 massive pots. Moving down to 3rd place in chips.
And now we have 3 sub 20 big blind stacks, Taking Souls with all the chips. Beautiful Mistake, the clear 2nd place. So really it's the storyline here playing out is going to be seeing what happens with these 3 similar stacks. Who wants to just sit back and play tight, and who wants to try to make some moves to go up the leaderboard.
And
also, the interesting thing is that Sanu 15 is one of our lesser known players. We do not have much information about him. And we only know his name, which is Brijesh Pratap Singh. So, interesting play there from Sanu. A little unlucky there, flopping top pair, getting a little stubborn with it. The 2 most experienced people at this table, Beautiful Mistakes and Taking Souls, are leading in chips, and rightly so.
yeah, Taking Souls especially has been really solid throughout this and sort of just seamlessly collected huge chunk of the chips in play already. Wow.
So a bunch of aces and pocket threes at the table.
It'd be interesting to see if, I mean, Sanu's probably opening, which is fortunate in some ways for taking souls, because given what we've seen, he probably most likely would have piled it in on the button there, and I wouldn't see got no change folding in that spot. So we'll see what happens here. But
I was going to say, we could still see him pile it in.
yeah.
And we see a call.
Calling a 3-bet out of position with pocket threes on 18 bigs is not a good idea.
I think which is
probably about as good a flop as he can hope for, though.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to see it get in here.
It's one of those spots that you can avoid by not opening pocket threes in a situation like this.
Yeah, exactly. And barring, hero calls, you're calling off literally to...
Yeah, I do not like that fold given the way that hand played. If you're calling a 3-bet out of position with 18 big blinds with pocket threes and you get the 7-4 deuce board, I'm stacking off to an open shove. I mean, he's going to just have so many overcards, and he had him crushed there, knowing that 2 aces were dead and another 6.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of that play. You're basically just saying you were only calling to flop a set, which is just far too shallow of a stack to do that with.
Exactly. And wow. Talking of sets.
Another soul taken.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, the name is checking out.
So Suraj Todi is our 5th place finisher, and he gets 3.27 lakhs for his efforts.
This is just a monster chip lead.
7-4-2, like you were saying, Kevin, it's pretty much one of the best flops you could see for your hand. So yeah, I imagine you have to stack off there once you call it 3-bet. You can't play it any other way.
Well, I wouldn't be calling 3-bet in the first place. I'd be playing threes as an all-in or a fold. I mean, 18 big blinds is a little awkward. I actually thought the pre-flop decision was the most interesting part of that hand because you can make an argument for shoving. But I think min-raising, that hand plays so terribly. You're blocking their snap folds in the big blind too. They don't have as many 8-3 offsuits and stuff like that because you're blocking them. And it's just a hand like with those small pairs. It's just once you get to a certain stack, you're just all in or you're folding, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think I probably would have just shoved if I'd played the hand. It's pretty. Yeah, this is really just taking Soul's tournament to lose. And he has well over half the chips in play now.
Taking souls has a nice hand to see a flop.
Yeah, hard to be too creative when you're this shallow, but I see that 7 of hearts there, and I start thinking, some backdoor thoughts,
Yeah. Some players see a fold, but Kevin sees opportunity.
I mean, yeah, you gotta be creative with some of your bluffs there, and you wrap around the bottom card, you pick up some equity on the turn.
I remember I did that just really briefly. I played at the last WSOP. I was playing. I can't remember what tournament it was. This player sits down and he just absolutely. there's one thing I can't deal with is players being rude to dealers for no reason. He sits down. Why haven't you dealt me cards? This is the usual. This is my job. You're working for us and all that. And I really started, I immediately pulled him up on it, and he starts telling me, who are you? Who even are you? You don't speak English, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, King 10 of spades, I've got this. And I ended up floating on there was the Jack of spades and absolute nothing there. And I backdoored a royal flush against him. And he also actually backdoored, like we both had nothing, but he actually backdoored it as well. He's like, he must have been sitting there thinking, I've got him now. Because this is after a good half an hour, 40 minutes of this back and forth. I'd already got a 1-round penalty for saying stuff to this player about not speaking to dealers. And then I was angry with the floor because I was like, I'm sticking up for your dealers here. And then, I backdoored a royal and
Justice.
Opportunity. When opportunity knocks, you have to let them in.
It's hard to make a royal, man. I mean, especially given the context of that story, that's pretty funny. It was sweet justice, huh?
Yeah, I was like, if I could pick up something, and wow.
Yeah, Robin van Charcy with the ace-4, ripping it in, getting called, and making a full house. So very fortunate turn of events for him.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate for Sanu there. He made the sort of misstep with the freeze, had a nice spot there to get back in and mix and reassess, and just unfortunate.
Nice fold there by taking souls. For a second, I thought he might look at 3-betting this one.
Yeah, this hand's done.
I mean, flatting 5-2 suited, a little optimistic.
Yeah, I don't like defending nearly as wide at a final table. It's just so hard to check call and realize your equity with your hands because of ICM pressures, and a little too wide to defend there, I think.
Yeah.
Taking souls just really in a great spot here. He can basically just kind of min-raise his way to victory at this point. So I'm sure he's going to have some hands hold here, but he just has so many chips. 3 times the amount, more than 3 times the amount of second place. It's just the dream spot.
Yeah. And he can legitimately open, everything. It's not like there's one tiny stack that he's going to be, forced to call off. Everyone's under the same sort of pressure. So,
yeah, King 8 off, not a problem. Just going to keep opening that kind of stuff. I mean, that's the beauty of having the chip lead. Just keep min raising, keep applying pressure. Just play normal when your opponents play back at you. You can open super wide. They just can't defend.
do you think he's just going to pile this one in here? Tough fives.
It's a really tough call for beautiful mistake. It'll be a very big mistake, I think, if he chooses to call here. I'm sure he's going to tank and fold.
Yeah, I think you're torching money if you call off here with the other 2 short stacks. So I would have maybe you can just pile it for 25 big blinds pre-flop, and it seems like a lot. But.
I think, I honestly think, I think people probably criticize my logic. I don't know if it's even logic, but I would, if I'm in that spot against the chip leader with that many chips, I'm going to get shoved on so often that I think I only have 2 decisions. It's just in or fold.
Yeah. Wow.
Very unfortunate there for Robin, man. Chelsea, dream spot for him. Picking up the aces. You're going to feel bad for him. But he is our fourth place finisher, and he's going to take home 4 lakhs, 17,000.
And this is another one, especially, not only have you got obviously a monster really heads up, I would have that added insult of someone trying to steal steal when there's nothing in there, but when there's no investment. But yeah.
Wow, massive pot there. Taking souls took another soul the hand before, finds the ace queen on the button, opens. Beautiful mistake. Rips it in with the ace 9. Taking souls would have just basically had the tournament on complete lockdown had he held there, but beautiful mistake. Making the 9 on the flop wins. That's a huge pot.
That's
man.
Monster. He would have been going into heads up with what, 13-1 chip lead. But ace 9s, we've seen that work out yesterday as well. I think there was a huge pot.
This is likely to get in.
You know, it's weird how these things sometimes happen. You know, you get one stroke of misfortune, and then it's like a domino effect.
And Sanu just ripping the aces there. I would have liked to maybe see a limp, but he does get called by the king jack and doubles, and taking souls. The wheels are coming off the bus for taking souls, having just doubled up both opponents in the last few hands. Still had so many chips that he is still chip leader.
And wow, that's
a huge flop.
Yeah,
to say the least.
We're going to see if. Yeah, I don't even want to comment on this, but it's.
This is getting in, right?
The chips are going in now. Yeah.
Taking souls definitely considering going all in here. I think that is the way to go.
Once you bet the king 10 with the flush draw and somebody rips on you, it's just.
I'm surprised he's tanking.
Kind of have to call.
Yeah,
you have to call. Wow.
This really is, you know, it's just unfortunate. And
oh man. Taking souls is just the wheels have fully come off the bus. He is doubled up his opponents all within the last 5 hands, and now 4s versus 10s.
And I'm sure he won't be this kind of player, but I was going to say sometimes the frustration can get to you. You know, when you. I mean, he had the tournament basically on lock with the ace king there, and just everything's gone wrong since. And
yeah, you gotta kind of feel sick for him. He was going to go into chip lead with 13-14-1 chip lead. If his opponent doesn't hit a 9, his opponent hits the 9, then he doubles up Sanu 15 twice.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just sick.
Yeah, unless he can find a way to. Yeah, he's not winning this hand. And I'm sure he's going to find no reason to bet unless he's literally trying to fold out these exact hands. So, wow. I mean, you're sat there. Nearly all the chips in play, the medallions glistening in the Indian sun. And then, wow.
So sick, the turn of events here for Taking Souls. Who had been playing the table perfectly, I think, and he's just been playing so well and running so well.
Yeah, and I mean, the irony is, even though I don't think it was a mistake, but the irony is the ace 9 went in against the ace king, which could be could be defined as a beautiful mistake if he eventually goes on to take it down, right? Even though, as I said, I think it was the correct play, but. And yeah.
Interesting hand here in the limp pot spot. We have middle pair with the backdoor flush draw versus the sixes. Not a great turn card here for the sixes. He's going to get some more resistance from the queen five, and he's not really going to know where he's at on the river here. I think this just goes check, check. Yeah, the five is enough showdown value. I think there's no reason to turn that into a bluff. Taking souls, be happy to win that pot with the ace and the king on the board, just the pocket sixes.
And we have our contest winners. We obviously asked you if I am an odd number and you take away a letter and I become even, what number am I? The answer was 7, of course. And the winners, we have Anand Gaikwad, who playing with the ID Pain, SP Shim, going by Vixen89, Abhishek Gautam, Internet Kid, and Mahesh Randive, Mahesh VR. Also, we have Prem Amar Nani, who goes by Cyclone. So these are the contest winners, and congratulations, you will be getting a ticket. And stay tuned, we might have another contest coming to you. So if you haven't won already, you might still have a chance to win some free tickets.
Wow.
Taking souls and beautiful mistakes, really going at each other. And again, a hand over hand spot here. King Queen looks really good three-way.
This may be
Ouch.
some redemption for taking souls.
Redemption indeed.
It's a really small bet.
This is what I love about tournament poker. It's just so brutal, so bizarre at times.
You love the punishment. I used to in my younger days. The punishment was good, but not anymore.
Look at this run out. I mean, I think I maybe would have liked to size up a little bit on the flop and taking Soul's spot here just to set up less than pot size river shove, because this would have been a great spot to get it all. It feels like a shove looks really strong now. He is going to go for the shove.
Really hard to fold with the
impossible to fold. Just
taking souls, making a comeback after a train wreck of a tournament in the last couple of hands. The beautiful mistakes now, the shortest stack in the table.
Yeah, I think taking souls is going to be breathing a big sigh of relief there, temporarily anyway. Free bet incoming.
Easy folds. And what a great show by Sanu15. He came into this game with a middling stack and he stuck around, got very aggressive, played a couple of questionable hands in the middle there, but he's since then regained a decent amount of chips and now is in a good position to go heads up here.
Yeah, and
wow. I was going to say, I think we could see taking souls shoving this queen 10 suited here, playing a maximum pressure to Sanu 15, who has beautiful mistake, more than 2-1. So he does fold the ace 10. That's a pretty tight fold, but tough to call off. Yeah, that's a pretty gross spot for Sanu 15. And a nice play from taking souls, getting the fold from the better hand, dominating him. Interesting spot.
Yeah, the way the chips are distributed right now, taking souls could just go all in every hand, and it's going to be very tough for Son of 15 to play with Beautiful Mistakes short. And of course, Beautiful Mistakes has to be really cautious because he is the shortest stack at the table.
Man, taking souls is going to be making Sanu 15's life miserable. It can't even open. What is that? Queen Jack on the button.
Yeah, and I think that really, shows, some good. Sanu 15 has obviously taken that ace 10 into account there and thought, well, I mean, if he's going to face the same pressure every time he opens, then it's pointless opening.
I don't think I'd be folding to ace 10 there. I'm quite happy just being in the top 3, having a nice payday secured and not wanting to get bullied around by the chip leader. It's a little bit too much time to wait for a Beautiful Mistake to bust, I think.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. And I don't know if it's, again, I spoke about enjoying punishment, but for me, I quite like being in those positions where people are trying to apply maximum pressure, because I just know when I do snap it off with the ace 10 there, I'm probably in really good shape, and it's it's a good opportunity to double, but you just have to have the nerve and hold the nerve to do it. So,
but I do like the play from the Queen 10 suited there and taking souls, just ripping it in for 30 big blinds with the button raise. It's easy to just flat call, but hard to play out of position with the flop. He's happy just pushing the action, and with a hand that has such nice equity versus any calling range, really. So I do like the play from taking souls. And now he's, just really going to be applying max pressure. Does feel like a little bit of redemption when he got so unlucky to not have all the chips heads up.
Absolutely.
Earlier.
Yeah,
all in again.
And we are going to announce our second contest question after this hand. So we are bringing you another brain-titillating IQ question, and here it comes. There is one word spelled wrong in every English dictionary. What is it? If you've already guessed the answer, well then post it now as a comment on this stream along with your Spartan ID. Your answer might help you win one of 5 tickets that we are giving away from Flight 1 of the Feast tournament to be played on 18 September at 4 p.m.
that should be easy for these players, because 90% of these IDs are spelt wrong quite deliberately to try and throw us, I think, in the commentary. Oh wow, here we go.
Sick turn card.
That is unreal. And taking such a draw-heavy board, I wonder if taking souls.
I think Peter is responsible.
On the heavy side. Yeah, Peter's there with the dream. Coffee machine's not working. Let's get this over with so I can get out. Easy all in here on the turn. Easy call. And
Beautiful Mistake has just been a thorn in the side of taking souls in this short-handed game.
yeah, that's... Wow.
Yeah, quite the setup there for Beautiful Mistake, the purest turn card in the deck, and nothing taking souls can do there. I mean, he's forced to call with 2 pair.
He's taken too many souls. There's no room left in the bag. I think that's the problem.
One hand has changed so much and changed the dynamics so much, that ace king was the ace 9 hand, and we saw that yesterday as well, that jam with 3-7, how it sort of changed the whole dynamic of the game. And it's 3-way still, and the game is wide open. Beautiful Mistakes with relatively decent stack.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting now because it's going to slightly change. He's not quite in that position where he can start open jamming on anyone really, and so the tactics are going to slightly.
Another setup.
Wow. Just flopping the world.
I'm surprised Taking Souls actually checked. It was a relatively okay spot to be betting there. Considering a one card flush draw.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes maybe you get cold feet because of the misfortune previous, and maybe not wanting to get it in against a random club or whatever. Just a bit of pot control, I guess. And I mean, all things considered, he's going to be quite happy the way that hand played out because no club on the end for sure is calling another bet. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind the check back there with the 10. I think you're just trying to get to showdown as cheap as possible, really. That's the goal. And if you bet and the pot gets inflated, you're kind of lost whether or not your opponent has top pair, just like a club draw. So I do kind of like the check back there. I can see reasons for both betting and checking. But interesting enough, he got to showdown for just one bet on the turn. He checked back, called turn, reversed the club, and went check. He got shown the winner, but controlling the size of the pot definitely working out for him there.
A 7's coming. Oh, never mind. Yeah, this is.
And you said you don't like punishment.
I think you can legitimately get a value bet in on the end if you're Sanu here.
A little too large for my liking, I guess.
Too big, I think. Too big. Although.
But definitely a good spot to value bet here.
Yeah, half pot might be a little too greedy, though, when you already are kind of perceiving your opponent's range to not include a queen.
Mm-hmm.
You want to try to get called by an 8 or a 6 here. So you want to, I think, keep it on the smaller side. It's like Sam recognized. Wow. Or you could just get bluffed off of it.
That is the play of the day if it gets through. That is.
That definitely is the play of the day. That was a massive shove there by Beautiful Mistakes.
It flickered through my mind for a second, and I thought, "There's no way he's going to do this." So I didn't even consider suggesting it. That was great.
Yeah, just goes to show how bad value betting was there. Just could have just checked back your hand, showed down the winner. Said you open up the betting again when you have a capped range yourself because you check back turn.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a tough spot, Wow. And now
the roller coaster continues.
Yeah, Taking Souls just being so close to having total control of this tournament, and then Sanu 15, Beautiful Mistake, have just had good timing against him and managed to claw back every single time that he's gotten the chip lead again. So,
are we going to see another jam with Queen 10?
I was thinking that. I don't think so.
Wow. Double gutter. Broadway draw overcard against top 2. Sick flop. And Sanu leads. That's very out of flow. Not sure about that.
Dream spot here for Taking Souls, flopping the world here. No reason for him to raise.
Yeah, and if he includes weak, I was going to say he can just legitimately shove the turn. It's obviously he's run into a monster, and wow.
Yeah, smart slow play from him there. Gets all the chips in on the turn and holds. And he'll be going into heads up with a nice chip lead. Finally took out Sanyo.
Finally. For a second, I thought this is never going to happen because 15-20 minutes back, we were in a situation where Taking Souls had all the chips, and probably were hoping for a heads up real soon. But Son of 15 really showing up and giving a big fight to both these guys. He's finishing in third place. They played really well towards the end of the tournament.
Interesting. Taking Souls.
Yeah. I was going to say, I wonder if he peels thinking, the King of Hearts is some sort of backup plan for the turn, not knowing, Hearts disaster. And wow, I mean, it's going to be really hard for Beautiful Mind to bet again, and Taking Souls must know that he has to bet to win.
But what a great show by both of these players. They have kept us thoroughly entertained, and we've seen some interesting hands played between them. And
Wow.
Talking about interesting hands.
I would say all in, and he does it. All in. With the tournament on the line, bluffing with the king high, floating the check raise.
Only one move will trump his all-in bluff a few hands ago, and that would be by.
And Beautiful Minds is thinking about this because this shot doesn't make any sense.
It makes sense from only a point of view that, perhaps he has had a jack. Other than that, it makes no sense at all, really. So, I mean, is he going to?
But then is a jack really going all in? Yeah, probably he is actually. I think a jack would play it similar to this.
It's just like, what do you think your opponent has when you have two hearts in your hand? You block the draws.
That's true.
So I think he's just giving him credit for jack there, and Taking Souls, another very sick play.
Yeah.
Super sick play.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Although it took some time for that last bust out, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Richie, thank you so much. We're going to say goodbye to Richie for now and join the action back again here at Heads Up in this Monster Stack event. I've had the opportunity to, some people in the control room had bleeding eyes with the shirt that I was wearing, so I decided to give them a break and come back to commentary.
I was going to mention earlier when you said your shirt's brighter than my future, I was going to say, it's that bright that even your future's looking good.
Indeed. I need to talk to my tailor very, very soon about these colors that are being picked off. But hey, enough with the blacks and blues. There's a lot of blacks and reds happening at the table as well. And what fantastic play we've been seeing between these two players. I mean, that King 10 hand, gosh.
Yeah, that was just brilliant. These two players have really shown what they're capable of, and a definite deserving pairing heads up here, that's for sure.
Pretty flop for the 5 deuce suited, and he turns the straight. Sick card. But his beautiful mistake has none of this, so I don't think this is going anywhere.
Yeah, he snap folded there. Well, Well, both these accomplished players, fair enough. We are at heads up with probably two of the most accomplished players at this table. And taking souls. Really sitting pretty with that lead right now.
I was going to say it would be interesting to see how many players he actually busted on this final. It's a fair few.
Wow. Is that a limp jam with King 5 off?
Yep.
See,
He's had enough.
Yep, all the creative plays are coming out of the woodworks now.
He has definitely had enough of taking souls shenanigans. It is nice to get a little bit of post-flop play here. 20 big blinds effective and some min raising by both players. Not much for either guy here. Taking souls, calling the tiny bet with bottom pair, and it's not going to be able to stand the pressure there with the fourth diamond on the turn. Nice little bluff from Beautiful Mistake.
We should see a raise here. Wow. It's a proper jam, and that goes the way of Beautiful Mistakes again.
Fair few rags being thrown around.
And a flush on that turn card for Beautiful Mistakes, but a sniff of a draw for Taking Souls. Oh boy. Well, he's taken quite a few chips back. That lead has been trimmed a little bit more than it was some hands ago, and now pocket tens for Beautiful Mistakes. I think if either player has absolutely random cards, they're all pretty much peeling to see at least a flop in this heads-up battle.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be interesting because, oh, okay. Felt like Taking Souls doesn't like folding. But yeah, no further action on that flop. And
Wow. Very creative play.
That is
this is one player.
interesting.
Taking Souls is one player who I could see looking through this and doing that, basically.
Nice. And there you have it, folks. Exactly why we keep saying that poker is a skill game, and you just witnessed why. Both players having, well, not garbage by any means, but that took some play. And Taking Souls adding a little bit more to his stack with that one.
Yeah, sick play from Taking Souls there. They're really, really battling here. You know, it's been a pretty fun heads-up match to watch. Probably the best one I've seen so far this series.
Mm-hmm.
There's a magic card here we're all thinking of that gets the doom switch going. Where's the 4? No.
I mean, this could get, yeah, because now Beautiful Mind's in there with a flush draw too.
Yeah, he's got to at least see that last card. And
Oh.
there it is.
I can
Well done,
see a
Richie
check
Haridasom.
here.
Wherever you are, the doom switch is working, sir.
Yeah, but I can definitely see him checking behind there on the end. Yeah. Wow.
Now it's Beautiful Mistake's turn to pick up a nice ace-10 suited. Alrighty.
It's a bad card for Beautiful Mind because you're surely not going to just let Taking Souls get away with betting this turn here. Although that's
It's a pretty big size, though.
yeah, that was
Yeah, maybe about half the pot might still have sort of tempted Beautiful Mistakes to give it a shot, but near pot size bet, ending the action there. Top pair and a gut shot draw. Boy. The board's really opened up for Taking Souls.
Spicy turn card there, picking up the gutter and the flush draw. Pot's getting pretty big here.
I mean,
Not what Taking Souls was looking for that river, but King's up for Beautiful Mistakes.
And I think we could see another heroic play here.
Yeah, it's a bit of a trapping check there.
and I don't think on this occasion it's going to work.
Well, 3.4. Wow.
It's not folding.
I didn't expect a shove on that particular hand, but hey, the way these guys have been going at each other.
One of the first real mistakes, I think, from Taking Souls. Misstep, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful mistakes. She's been a thorn in his side all day. And really good check there from the King 5, kind of knowing that Taking Souls has been very aggressive and willing to put all the chips in on the stone cold bluff. And I suspected that Taking Souls wasn't going to be able to help himself there with the straight blocker and the flush draw blocker turning his bottom pair into the bluff. And he's in rough shape now. Sub 20 big blinds, beautiful mistake with all the chips.
Yeah, the positions have completely flipped since about maybe 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. And this is probably going to jam this in free.
This game is not over yet, folks. It still could be anyone's title to win here at the Monster Stack. We've already seen the chip lead switch a couple of times. This time firmly in the favor of Beautiful Mistakes, but you never know.
Well, with this flop,
you could know.
things.
Interesting spot here for Beautiful Mistake. He's just going to check call with the open ender again. and then basically just check, giving up. I'm not the biggest fan of the check call here on the turn, with just the open ender and with like no plan on the river.
Yep.
Yeah, it seemed like he was resigned to, hitting his straight or just giving up in that spot. And
well, since this looks like it's going to go on for a bit, I'm going to announce the winners for that second contest question, which was, there is one word spelled wrong in every English dictionary. What word is it? The answer is, of course, wrong. And we've got 5 winners to that day 1I flight into the Feast tournament. And here are those winners. Shaswata Biswas playing as John 11111. Shivani Debroy playing as Underrated. Ratan Singh as New User. Kutubuddin Siddiqui as Arsh Papa. And Alwyn S as Alwyn01. Congratulations to all the winners who win a ticket into that Feast day 1I flight. And 1 crore guaranteed in the Feast, so you can get in on the action as well. 4 p.m. daily is when those flights take place, so get in on the action and you can be a part of this FTS too. For free. Wait for the contest question tomorrow. Back to the action here. 7s and 3s for taking souls.
Taking Souls probably won't fold this. I'm quite aware that these 2 players are floating every flop.
Just a reminder to contest participants, it's usually on a draw that we pick our winners. It's not whether you answer first or second or last. We put all the correct answers into a big bowler hat, and then we pick those names out. So that's how we determine the winners.
Even you guys get it all in on a draw. Always drawing.
I think it's eventually going to come down to a hand-over-hand situation because it's just floating back and forth, the chips.
Yeah, the chips have been passing back and forth, but nobody's really been completely against the ropes here. They've got down to, 15 to 20 big blinds or so, but each opponent's been able to battle back, and we're really seeing ourselves quite the heads-up match here. We've seen really a lot of really cool-looking hands, too.
Uh-oh.
All right. I think, yes, I can confirm that both players have decided to take a deal, and that's the reason why you see that that message out there. We're going to wait to just find out who. Yes, I can confirm that the Monster Stack has come to an end. And our winner, of course, as you can see with the bigger chip stack, is Beautiful Mistakes playing. That's Vaibhav Sharma playing as Beautiful Mistakes. And Ankit Wagmare is the one who finished in runner-up position, taking souls. That's Aniket Wagmare, I beg your pardon, not Ankit, who finished in 2nd place. Let's take a look at the hand of the day that we thought was quite interesting. This one with the Ace-King versus the King-Queen. And again, it's between our two final, between the final two of this final table.
Yeah, blind versus blind here. Ace king versus king queen on the dry king high board. Just nothing Beautiful Mistake could have done here. And I think anybody would be super happy to call it off in this spot. Just a cooler, but definitely one of the most important pots of the final table.
Yeah, I think across the final tables that we've commented on, this is probably in the top two, maybe the top three big hands. Big pots, I beg your pardon.
Definitely. Yeah, it's just a perfect run out, isn't it? There's just nothing you can do.
And the board was so wide apart that you wouldn't really put anyone on a deuce for sure. And so I guess Beautiful Mistakes, not one of the mistakes, I should say, that he's probably done in his poker career, but it's just one of those boards. It's one of those hands that ended up not going Vaibhav Sharma's way. But in the end, though, that hand he may have lost, but he did win the battle, the war, if you will, and the title here at the Monster Stack. We are unable to connect with the winner for the call that we usually do, but here's a quick roundup of all the winners that are there at this. Oh, we can also take a look. Another hand, apparently, that's in progress here now with Taking Souls having 5-7. Beautiful Mistakes, Ace Deuce. Again, these players going up against each other.
And this was another massive cooler. I mean, nothing you can do. Limp in, check, check. Two pair, top pair for Beautiful Mind, which then improves the two pair on the turn. Then all the money goes in, and just for an extra slap round the face, the 8 deuce improves to 8s full of 2s.
Yeah, again, just one of those setup hands. There's nothing either player is going to do differently there. It's just going to play out the way it's supposed to. And yeah, I mean, I'm feeling a little unsatisfied, I got to admit. We had a compelling heads-up duel, and then these guys decided that they were equally matched enough that they would just chop it up and move on to the next one. So I certainly don't have a problem if you don't feel like you have a big edge on your opponent, just trying to negotiate a deal and maybe locking up a medallion in the negotiations if possible. Yeah. But I would have liked to have seen that played to completion. A little unsatisfied, but congrats to both of those players. I think they both played very well. They were just straight up battling there for a while, and I think the battle just inevitably wore both of them down.
Yeah, I think, Sam, we echo the same sentiments as Kevin just mentioned. But we did get some good heads-up play between Aniket Wagmare and Vaibhav Sharma. Sam, any missteps that you felt? There was that one by Taking Souls, I think, that perhaps could have been avoided.
I think there was just that one big shove when he sort of floated with the gut shot, and then Beautiful Mistake turned the 2-pair King 5 and found that cheeky check on the river. I think that was a misstep. Maybe not so much a huge
beautiful mistake.
Yeah, because there are hands that he may get him to fold. But yeah, like Kevin said, I'm a bit disappointed that it sort of came to an end the way it did. But that's poker, and that's the nature of deals. But it was definitely shaping up to be, if it wasn't already, the most sort of hotly toughest fought heads-up match of this series, and probably would have been one of the best of the past 3 series, I think, of this FTS. So
That's true.
Some really, really great play, and they're both really deserving of the win, actually. So maybe chop the medallion up 50-50 and
the medallion doesn't get chopped. On the records, we've got Vaibhav Sharma, who's the winner of this tournament. So the medallion's squarely going his way at the end of this tournament. Just a quick roundup of all the finalists and where they finished up. Shagun Jain playing as I Can Suck Out in 8th position, finishing with 1.36 lakhs for his prize. Mehrzad Munsaf playing as Go Blue, finishing in 7th for 1.92 lakhs. Anurag Srivastav, Cult of Personality, I love that song, by the way, in 6th place for 2.56 lakhs. Suraj Todi, Got No Change. He's got some points on that FTS leaderboard, should be taking up a step, finishing in 5th for 3.27 lakhs. Prakash Gupta playing as Robin Van Chersi. There is a certain green herb that's been floating on these FTS tables, and that's one more of them. 4th place for him, 4.17 lakhs. Brijesh Pratap Rao playing as Sanu 15. I actually like the fact that he was just sitting there quietly and just, hanging on for dear life. And he finished in 3rd for 5.25 lakhs. Last but not the least, our finalists, Aniket Wagmare, taking souls at 2nd place for 9.14 lakhs. And our winner, many congratulations to Vaibhav Sharma, playing as Beautiful Mistakes. He fired 2 bullets to get into this tournament, and it has paid off well for him. 1st place for him, 9.78 lakhs, after the deal, of course, that he cut in heads up with Aniket Wagmare. Very, very well matched, both these opponents. And I think we are a little disappointed that we didn't see the complete culmination of that heads up play, but it was still enjoyable for as long as it lasted. Congratulations to all the winners and the money makers in this tournament. And we shall see you tomorrow evening for another live stream. In the meantime, though, it's time for us to say goodbye. I'd like to say thank you to our commentators, Kevin McPhee, Sam Rizavi, and of course, Richard Haridasom. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. We will see you on another live stream tomorrow evening, same time. Until then, it's goodbye.
Has an element of financial risk and may be addictive. Please play responsibly and at your own risk.